Alright everybody, this is a video about citing sources. We're going to talk today about citing websites. We use books all the time, but we know that when you're going home you don't have access to all the books in the media center or the library, and so the internet is a great place to find sources and resources. We do want to make sure we give credit where credit is due. When people create or write books or create websites or contribute to magazines, they are making something. Imagine you spent hours and hours, days and days creating a bench. You bought all the wood and nailed all of it together, and then imagine you came back the next day and found someone else's name all over it, and they claimed it was their handiwork. That is what it's like when you don't give credit for your resources. It is like writing your name all over their creation. It is stealing. And there are people every year who are legally punished for the crime of plagiarism. And we don't want to be doing that. It's very easy, though, to avoid plagiarism if you just remember these easy letters. T-A-P-P-D. T-A-P-P-D. Easy to find on most any resource. And if you've already watched the video, we talked about what the other video, we talked about what those letters mean. But if this is your first video, we're going to talk about them again, so don't worry. These letters are going to tell us who, where, and when. It's important to know who created the resource, where they were when they created it, and when it was created. Alright, the first thing you need to think about is the title. What is the title of the book? What is the title of the magazine article? Or what is the title of the article on a website? Now, this is different than the title of the website, and we'll see a little bit about this in just a second when we start looking at some examples. We're looking for the title of the article. It's the small chunk of information that you're going to see on the website. And we need to know who created it. We're giving them credit. It's their work. It's their ideas. We're just using their ideas to make our work better. So, who is the author? Who is the writer? Also, publisher is important. With a book, the publisher is a company that actually physically makes the books. With a website, the publisher is the person or people responsible for posting the website online. And with the website, we're going to talk a little bit about place and what that means in terms of website. And then, as always, you need to know the date. You need to know the date. T-A-P-P-D, those are the letters. Now let's look at some examples. Alright, here's an example of a website where when you're telling us the title, you can see there's a title of the website and then there is a title of the article. Okay, so let's say we were using this article. We're using the article here called Calling All Kid Chefs. That's the title of the article. That's the title of the article. It's going to tell us what the article is called. The information is in the health section, Calling All Kid Chefs. That would be what we would want to write down. What you might end up doing, though, is you might end up thinking it's the title of the website. This is the title of the website. If you were citing this website, you wouldn't be writing Time for Kids. You would want to make sure you did Calling All Kid Chefs. Alright, let's erase this right here so that we can keep going. Alright, so when giving the title from a website, it's important not to tell us the title of the whole website. Tell us the title of the article. Here you would write Calling Kid Chefs, and bonus, lucky you, the author is listed right underneath. Can you spot it? So go back and look at this page, pause it, and look. If you can tell your teacher who the author is of Calling Kid Chefs, they'll give you a prize. Alright, in terms of the author on a website, it's not always as easy as it was on Time for Kids. Sometimes, or many times, websites are put up by one person. One person is the author, and so it's not always easy to tell who that person is or what their full name is or what their name is at all. What you want to look for is you want to look for the section called About. The About section is going to tell you who the person is, why they're writing the website, where they're getting their information from. The About section is very important. If a website doesn't tell you about the person who's writing it, or you don't see an about, then it's probably not a very good resource, and you probably don't want to use it if you can't find that about, because we always want to make sure we're using resources from people who know what they're talking about or that aren't trying to hide anything. Okay, the publisher and place, you're going to like this. It's a buy one, get one free. On a website, the publisher and place are both the same thing. You're going to write the address of the website beside the P and the P on your template or anything where you're documenting the citation. So, and another tip, after you write the .com, the .net, or the .org, whatever it is at the end, you can stop. Sometimes websites will have lots of extra things after that, percentage and exclamation points and stars. You don't have to write all that stuff. We just need through the .com, .net, or .org. So for example, we were looking at Kid Chef Aliana. Her website, the publisher in place would be kidchefaliana.com. That's all you have to write. Just as easy as that. So if it was nickjr.com, you'd write Nick Jr. If it was timeforkids.com, timeforkids.com. Again, if after the .com there was a backslash and some other things, don't worry about writing those down. We don't really need them. All right, last but not least, it's the date. You need to tell us the date. You need to tell your teachers the date. And with websites, a lot of times they don't put the date. It's not very common for them to put the date. If the date is going to be on a website, it's going to be at the very bottom. And you see what I've done is I've taken a chunk of Chef Ileana's website. It's at the very bottom of her webpage. It says copyright. It's hard to read, but it does say copyright 2013. Okay, so you would write that date beside where it says date on your citation. But if you can't find a date, that's okay. Doesn't mean it's not a good resource. What you would want to do is you'd want to put today's date. So for example, if Chef Ileana's website didn't have that 2013, beside date, I would write April. Oops, let me get my pencil. April 11th, 2013. Just that easy. All right. Then, once you've got all that, you can go back, make sure you have T, A, P, P, and D, and you're all set.